Hello! Today I'm going to work on a variation of the pattern from the previous video. This is very much like Twinkle Twinkle, but it has six-sided, and I'm going to be working with the 20mm glass cabochon for the center. You're going to need two shuttles. I've wound them continuously, and you're going to need an 8mm gauge and of course a glass cabochon. Well, it could be another bead of a similar size, which would work as well. A flat back works well. They're quite easy to find, or you can also buy clear ones and put your own images and make your own if you like. So we're going to start with the inside round here, which has those very small rings, and we're working the front little rings and the back rings at the same time, as well as the first chains. I've written the pattern in the information box below this video, so this will make it easy for you to follow along. So we're starting with the small rings. They are rings of three stitches with longer picots, which are made with the 8mm gauge. So 3 stitches, and then using your gauge, 3 more stitches, 2, 3. Remove the gauge and replace it again for the second picot, and 3 more stitches, 2, 3. And close the ring. And we're going to make the second ring with the same shuttle without reversing work. So now that's the back ring, which has 8 stitches, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a small picot, so it's just a joining picot, 2 stitches, a small picot, and 8 more stitches, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and close the ring. It looks like this. This is the front small ring, the back ring, and you want to fold them back to back like this, and then make the first chain. The chains have 4 stitches and then 3 graduated picots, so 1, 2, 3, 4, a small picot, a longer picot, and a small picot, and 4 stitches, 2, 3, 4. Now from here you're going to be using one shuttle for the front rings and the other shuttle for the back rings. So we've done the chain, reverse work, and use the same shuttle you had in your hand to make the front little ring, and you're looking at the back of the front little ring, so we're going to use reverse order stitches to make it. So starting with the second half of the double stitch. 1, 2, 3 stitches, join to the long picot of the small ring, 1, 2, 3 stitches, and use the 8mm gauge to make the next picot, 1, 2, 3. Remove the gauge and close your small ring. So your large ring and you two little rings joined together. And now use the other shuttle to make the larger back ring. And you're looking at the front of the back ring. And to make it easier to handle, I do like to fold the little ring to the back like this. I'm just looking at the end of the chain. So making the large ring again, 8 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so we're joining to the second picot of the large ring. And 2 stitches, a small picot, and 8 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. close the ring. And now we reverse work to make the chain. So we reverse work and wrap the shuttle that we've just used around our left hand, and then use the other shuttle to make the stitches. So 4 stitches on the chain. Make sure there's no gaps here. Pull that first half stitch really close to your work. 2, 3, 4, a small picot, a longer picot, a small picot, and 4 stitches. 2, 3, 4. Reverse work, and now we're back to making, with the same shuttle, the tiny ring on the back. So can you see? So I'm looking at my large shuttle in the I'm looking at my large rings at the front and the little rings at the back. So we're going to make the little ring with reverse order stitches. So I'm going to leave you to carry on and repeat that until you get to the 6th ring. I hope it's going well. I'm here now at the 4th ring, so I'll make another little bit with you. So we're looking, as you can see, I've got 3 chains, 3 big rings and 3 little rings here at the back. It's starting to curve nicely. So I'm using the back shuttle to make reverse order stitches for the little ring. 1, 2, 3. Join to the large picot. 1, 2, 3. Use the picot gauge. 1, 2, 3. Remove and close the small ring. I fold it to the back and use the other shuttle to make the large ring. 8 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Join to the picot of the previous large ring. 2 stitches. 2. Oops. A small picot. 8 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close the large ring. Reverse work. And make the 4th chain. So repeat one more time, and I'll see you when we're ready to make the 6th rings. So I hope you made it so far with no problems. I'm here ready to make the 6th ring. So you can see I've got my 5 large rings, 5 chains, and the 5 little rings on the other side. So we're going to make the last little ring. 2, 3 stitches. Join to the long picot. 1, 2, 3 stitches, and this time we're joining to the picot, long picot of the first little ring. So this closes the top part. 2, 3, and close the ring. So before you make your last ring on the back, you have to insert your cabochon. So I'm going to use this one. So we're looking at the back of the work. And now we're going to make the last large ring, which is, I have to admit, a little fiddly to make. It feels like you need a few more fingers than what you have. Make sure there's no gaps again between the chain and your ring. So 8 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So now you want to be joining to the peak of the previous ring. I'm going to hold it on the back now to make my next stitch, and you can see that the cabochon gets in the way. It's not very easy. So that's 1 and 2 stitches, 2. I'm going to turn it around now because I need to join to the picot of the first large ring. I'll grab my thread and make the join, and you need to pull this. Ooh, you see what I mean? It keeps flipping around. It's not easy, but it's doable. Make sure there's no gaps again on your join, and complete your ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then I'm going to hold the stitches here with my thumb flat against the cabochon to be able to pull my ring closed. See, I'm just holding them under my thumb here and pulling the ring tight. So that's the last ring on the back. Reverse work, and we're making the last chain. So you can see you want to make sure you're always wrapping the back shuttle here around your left hand to make the chain. And make sure this is very tight here so there's no gaps for your chain. 4 stitches, 3, 4, small picot, longer picot, small picot, and 4 stitches. 3, 4, and join at the beginning. So I hope you can see here my first ring, and there's just a little gap there with 1 thread, and this is where you want to join. You see, push your shuttle through here and join. So there you have it, the first round completed. I always like to adjust my stitches a bit. That's the first round done. So now we're going to carry on with the second round, and you're not reversing work, you're still continuing with looking at the front. And the arms have 5 stitches, 3 picots separated by 2 stitches, a self-closing mock ring, and then we'll repeat down the other side of the arm. Two, 3, 4, 5, small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, 2 more stitches, and now we're making the self-closing mock ring at the tip. So I'm making a loop using my ring finger to hold the loop, and then we're making the stitches for the little ring. And there's 3 stitches, and then 3 graduated picots. I can let go now of the loop. I'm going to feed a bit more thread by pulling here. Small picot, longer picot, small picot, 3 stitches, 2, 3. Now you want to pass your shuttle through the loop that you left at the beginning and tighten. And you want to make sure there are no gaps between your chain and your ring. And a little trick here, which I didn't do in the previous video, which I think it helps give it a nicer shape, is I'm going to do 1 extra second half of a double stitch here, which doesn't count, and it's just going to kind of fill the little gap here under the ring, and then make my 2 stitches of the chain. 2 small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, and 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to join at the base of the little rings. So I'm going to push my hook through, right through the center of the little ring to go at the base and come back out in the hole that's underneath. Can you see? And this is where I'm going to join. Give it a little twist to my little ring. So that's the first arm done. I'll make another one. So 5 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, 2 more stitches. And now we're ready for the next self-closing mock ring. So I'm using again my ring finger, making a loop on my thread, and then starting the stitches for the little ring. 1, 2, 3, small picot, longer picot, small picot, and 3 stitches. Pass your shuttle through the loop and tighten. One second half of a double stitch. I don't pull that one very tight, and then 2 stitches going down the other side, small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, 2 stitches, 1 more picot, and 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, and join at the base of the next small ring. Again, right through the middle and back out just underneath, and join. Just my little. So there's 2 arms. We're going to repeat this, and I'll see you at the last one, at the 6th one. But what I want to show you here is I choose self-closing mock rings, as you can see, as it gives a nice pointy shape to the chain underneath. If you didn't want to do self-closing mock rings, you could do thrown rings, but it would look like this instead. See how it's all curved underneath? So it's a different look, but it works just as well. So if you find self-closing mock rings difficult, then you can just do thrown rings. So repeat 4 more times, and I'll see you at the last, doing the 6th arm. Here we are at the last arm. I've started the stitches down the first side, and I'm ready to make the self-closing mock ring. So making a loop. Make sure there's no gaps between your ring and the stitches of your chain, and you can let go. I let go often after just the first stitch, so I can let go of the loop and carry on with my stitches. 2, 3, small picot, longer picot, small picot, 3 stitches, 2, 3, pass the shuttle through the loop, up, and tighten. One second half of a double stitch, and then 2 stitches, small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, 2 stitches, small picot, and the last 5 stitches, 3, 4, 5. And because this is the last join, I'm actually going to just cut my thread and pull it through to the back to knot it at the back. Push through here right at the beginning and catch the core thread and pull it to the back. Make a knot, left over right, right over left, and use a needle to sew your ends in. If you like using magic loops, which I often do, you would put one in on this last round on your first chain and on your last chain, and then you could use them to pull your ends in and not need to sew them in. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed making it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.